And joining us this afternoon is the head coach of the Gary Bobcats boys basketball team, Jimmy Wallace. Coach, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, but not quite as good as you, Mr. 500. You eclipsed 500 wins on Tuesday night with a 52-48 win over Beckville. So, Coach, just go ahead. When you hear that number, the 500 wins, when you hear that, what's the first thing that goes through your head?
I've had some pretty good kids play for me, for sure. Some good players, yeah.
Yeah, well, so on Tuesday night after you got the win and it was the 500th win, what were the emotions going through that? I know you said you've had some good players for sure, but when you reached that milestone, what was the emotions like?
I don't know. It wasn't. I don't know. I guess it wasn't. I was more concerned about us playing well because we start the playoffs next week and we won six in a row. I wanted to keep that going, that streak going, and just make sure we kept playing well before the playoffs. Like I told the kids, the 500 will happen eventually, if it's whenever it is, because they were worried about it. I was like, don't worry about it. If it happens tonight, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we got to be ready to play next week when the playoffs start, and that's more important right now. So, but I guess that was my focus more on the playoffs than it was the win, I guess. But it's really neat to win it. There's no doubt. But I've had a lot of great players and great assistants and a lot of years, obviously. So,
Well, yeah, that you can't get there in just a couple of years. It takes you got to be in the game
right,
for a minute to get that win. But that's interesting. So the kids seemed like they were more interested in the milestone than you were. So what do you think that says about the kids and how much they care for you?
they're great kids. That's I think it's pretty special that they felt that way. They've asked me several times throughout the year, how many wins away are you? You know, it's just like I don't know. And I would ask my son. He had a pretty good idea. He kind of knew the answer to it, and then we looked it up, and he was spot on. So, but yeah, I think it's pretty neat. The kids that's pretty special to them to feel that way. They want for them to want something for somebody else. That's always a special thing.
Yeah, and it's especially in kids like you're talking about. It's different when you're talking about
Yes,
adults doing that, but kids, it's awesome,
right.
man. I think that's a testament to those kids over there in Gary. But let's talk about this season so far.
Right.
25-8 on the year and 11-3. Well, so far, I guess the regular season's over. So 25-8 record, 11-3 district play. Talk to me about this season overall. I know kind of similar wins to the season you had a year ago, but what's kind of been the difference between last year and this year, and what are your thoughts overall on the season?
I think this year we've just had to learn to play a little bit differently. We graduated two or three really good pieces last year to our team. One of them being a point guard, so we've had to try to find a replacement for a point guard. He was an all-state point guard too, so he's really good. So we had to find a replacement for him, and it hasn't really been a replacement. It's just been kids doing different things this year, having to take on different roles, and we've kind of done it as a group collectively. And we've been, I guess since Christmas we've been consistently inconsistent, is how to describe us a little bit. And we thought we felt like we could go through district, and actually thought we felt like we could win and go 14-0. And I'm not bragging. I just thought we felt like we had enough back to do that, and it just didn't work out for us. We lost three games on the way, and but I think we learned from those games. We got better because of those games, and the kids are working hard right now, and they feel good about the playoffs. So.
Yeah, well, going back to the last year's playoffs, you played Martins Mill, who on to win the state championship, but you played them very tight. I think losing by 7 points in that third round. So, what can you? There was a lot of kids, I'm sure, on that last year's team that are still on this year's team too. What can you learn from playing a state championship team like that close? What can you learn from that game and kind of carry that momentum into this year so you can get over that hump this year in the postseason?
I just think that we learned from that game if you defend well, and both teams defended really well. We were very similar teams. We defended really well, and I think that if you just value each possession on offense, because the deeper you get in the playoffs, the tougher the games get. And for us, our first round is going to be incredibly tough. I mean, we have Sherino first round, and they've already beaten us twice this year. They're really good. Every possession is going to matter. We have to have good possessions. And I think coming around that game last year, we saw that. We saw that, man, the team that really takes care of the ball and makes sure you get a solid possession every time usually comes out on top. And I think that's magnified the further you go in the playoffs.
So back to you for a second. When did you begin coaching?
1993.
Okay, and so take me a little bit through your coaching tree here and your journeys that you've made along the way, and then what is something that you've learned, or that's not different because obviously it's different from '93 to now,
Right.
but what is something that you've learned maybe from your first year to now that's different from that first year? What have you learned in all the years of coaching that you've gained?
I guess just going through to me, it's the game of basketball. It changes, but there's still a lot of things that haven't changed. I guess you still got to put the ball on the go. You still got to defend. I would think that just over the years, just learning how to deal with kids has really been the biggest growth for me. I would think, because I mean, every kid's not the same. But they are the same in some ways. That they all most at the end of the day, all of them want to please you and make you happy. The kids just want to please people, and I think once we learn how to meet on that, I guess meet in the middle on that one, it works out better for us. And I love coaching kids. I really do. I love seeing kids grow up, become young men, young women. I think that's the wins are great. Winning games are great, and I'm super competitive. I hate to lose. I'm not very good at losing, but I think watching the kids grow up and win in life, I think is just so much more rewarding. And they all come back and see you and stuff, where you go to their weddings and all that. It's just really special.
You build those lifelong relationships in high school, and
Absolutely.
because I know even
Right.
from back when I was in high school, there's the coaches that coached me when I was in high school. I can still reach out to
Mhm.
them to this day and reach out to them for advice and all that. So yeah,
Sure.
it's a great thing. I do want to ask you one last thing about the community of Gary and the support that the
Yeah.
boys basketball team gets. Obviously, there's not football over there at Gary, so it's a
Right.
basketball. I don't want to say a basketball school because there's baseball and softball and all that there too. But
Right.
you get what I'm saying. It's a big basketball is a
Yes.
big deal over there. So what about the community and the support that you get from Gary?
I mean, our fans are great. Our community's great. Our administration is just super supportive of athletics. They really are. I mean, if we need something, they're going to take care of us. Our facilities are nice. They when they build things, they do it right. They take care of it. I think that just shows a lot of pride in our community and our school. And it's a small community, but our crowds are actually pretty good at our ball games. I mean, it's not very often that we go on the road with a smaller crowd than the home team has. I mean, we really travel well. I think they support our kids. And all the little kids want to grow up to be Bobcats one day, and it's pretty neat. They stand on the rails and watch the games closely and intently, and it's pretty neat. I think the support here is unreal. It's just everybody just comes out and follows us and supports us, and the more you win, the bigger the crowds get. So
Yeah, and the deeper you get into the playoffs, the bigger the crowds get too, because then you
that's
get all these
sure,
other
sure.
communities that want to come out and just watch good basketball. But
Right,
all right,
right.
last thing, and then I'll let you get out of here for real. You mentioned you've won 6 games in a row, and then you got Chirino coming up on Tuesday in the first round of the playoffs, which is actually a rematch of last year's first round matchup.
Yes.
But I want to ask you, how do you feel the team's playing right now as you head into the postseason, and how do you feel about this team maybe going on a run?
I think we have a chance to. I think us and Sherino, there's some similarities there. I think either one of us, whoever wins this game, I think has a chance to make a run. Put it that way. And Coach Cook at Sherino, he's a good friend of mine. We talked about that the other day. Where he was like, "I hope we don't play early. I hope we get to play each other later in the playoffs. Because we felt like we both make a little run because we're very similar teams." Uh, but I think we're playing well right now. I think we're starting to understand some things that took us a little while. It took us a while to learn how to play without just I guess, a dominant point guard like we've had for the last couple of years. And we're starting to figure that out a little bit better. And the kids are really starting to share the ball well, and they don't care who scores. And they just, at the end of the day, they want to make sure we win on the scoreboard. So I think we're playing well right now. I think they're excited for sure, and they feel like they can beat anybody. They'll play anybody. They don't care. That's just their mentality.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're looking forward to it. We're excited about it.
Well, and it's in my opinion one of the toughest regions in the state too. That 2A
For sure.
Region 3 is monstrous with so many
It
talented
always is.
teams. So yeah, so it'll be fun to watch. Well, Coach, congratulations on reaching 500 wins. Hope you get
Thank
500
you.
more coming up. But
I don't know if it's
congrats.
going to happen, but thank you.
Well, you never know. You never know. But congratulations, Coach, and best of luck to you
Thank
and the
you.
Bobcats in the playoffs. And I'm sure we'll talk to you down the road.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.